Почитувани гостин во овој интервју на Радио Слободна Европа е Едвард Џозеф, предавач на Школата за напредни меѓународни студии Џон Хопкинс и познавач на состојбите на Балканот. Со него разговаравме за процесот на проширување на Европската Унија, последиците од војната во Украина, о иницијативата Отворен Балкан, европскиот пат на земјите од регионот, како и руското влијание. Господине Џозеф, лани како и оваа година бевте гостин на Преспа форумот за диалог. Лани изјавивте дека Европската Унија не го сваќа сериозно Балканот. Со ново настанатата ситуација и војната во Украина, дали Европската Унија го врати фокусот на Балканот и на процесот на проширувањето?
Not completely. And it's a good quote because what is the difference between last year and this year? You were very right to quote me from last year and to say they don't take it seriously. What is the difference? War in Ukraine. What does that mean? It means that in Europe there can be only one order, one approach. That is, countries have to respect each other, respect their borders, adopt EU values, settle differences peacefully, and we still do not see that in the region, and we still see strong Russian influence in the region, which is against all of those values. So does the European Union take it more seriously? They take it somewhat more seriously. Germany takes it more seriously, but the real problem is not addressed. The real problem we have two countries, Serbia and Bulgaria, that have heavy Russian influence, and those are the main problems.
Го споминавте руското влијание. Колку имаат основа тврдењата дека бугарското вето врз Северна Македонија е руска хибридна војна оркестрирана од Бугарија?
You know, that is a great question, and the answer to it is I don't have any concrete proof of that. But let's just say it's very plausible. So I can't point to some proof, but what I can point to is the fact that figures in Bulgaria who are known to have very strong pro-Russian affinities, like the president Rumen Radev, and like the previous prime minister Boyko Borisov, have strong Russian leanings. That's number one. Number two is there's Bulgarian experts tell me this, who are from Bulgaria, that there's a lot of corruption, a lot of corrupt Russian money in Bulgaria, and that we know that this is a standard method of operation. Can I, Edward Џозеф, point and have a proof of some Kremlin hand? No. But let's say it's plausible. But it's also, we have to remember, plausible of a voluntary nature on the part of those who are aligned with Russia. So even if they're not getting some instruction, their alignment is anti-democratic and pro-Russian. And they're exploiting this Macedonian issue to accomplish that.
Закана ли е руското влијание за евроинтеграциите на Северна Македонија и на земјите од регионот?
The answer is yes, because this issue in Bulgaria of this extreme nationalism is a reflection, it very much resembles what Russia does in Ukraine. Think about it. Russia, and Putin in particular, what does he call Ukraine? Artificial country. And his attitude is, we are more powerful, so you are less powerful, you are artificial country. You're really Russian in some way. Your identity, there's not this identity, this is artificial. And we have a similar approach, not with force, but also using power, Bulgaria exploiting power as a member of the EU, to say, you are artificial country, essentially. You are artificial country. You're just have some Yugoslav artificial creation, but your language, your history is really based on our Bulgarian identity, and we're more powerful than you. So what is the difference? That's the same approach, different tactics, but same approach, and that's not European Union values.
Руската инвазија врз Украина предизвика економска криза, но колку таа представува и закана по безбедноста на земјите од Западен Балкан?
It's threatening in an indirect way. Many people are concerned, particularly in Bosnia, about some breakout and fighting. Look, you can't exclude that. You cannot say it can't happen, or some conflict in Kosovo. You can't say completely it can't happen. So it can happen, but Russian influence and Russian objectives are satisfied without a war. It isn't that Putin only wins in the Balkans, if there's a new war. No, Putin wins by this status quo. Putin wins by keeping things unstable, not frozen, unstable, in this condition where nothing moves forward, so it moves backwards. That is a victory, but Putin can say, look at this. The EU, US, they can't even sort out this mess. People lose interest, they become sympathetic, and plus, you have to remember another way, I have to emphasize this, that Vladimir Putin wins. He wins when his allies, and like Alexander Vučić and like Rumen Radev, he wins when they win. So when they are strong, and then he wins. Serbia is the only country in Europe that hasn't put sanctions on Russia. This is a victory. Air Serbia flying into Moscow. This is a victory. Putin should be isolated, and Serbia is not isolating them. Foreign minister is going to meet Lavrov. This is the plan. So this is just manipulation on behalf of Putin, and it's another way Putin wins.
Споменавте дека Србија се уште не спроведува санкции против Русија. Европската унија и Соединетите американски држави постојано бараат од Србија да ја усогласи својата надворешна политика со западната, но Србија ги игнорира овие повици. Колку е одржлива оваа позиција на Србија?
I'm going to give you my opinion, and here I hope I am wrong. I really hope that my opinion is the wrong opinion, and maybe it will be. My opinion is that it is quite sustainable for Alexander Vučić to have this position. First of all, look how many months he's had this position. Do you see any action, reaction? No. Do you see increasing confidence in Belgrade? Yes. He signs a 3-year gas deal with Putin. He, again, continuing the relationship lifeline to Putin, pretending that he's interested in joining EU when for 10 years he's done almost nothing to join EU. So this manipulation, I call it a charade. It's a charade. It continues, and the US and EU don't do anything about it for one reason, and that is because of Kosovo, the leverage that Belgrade has over Kosovo, because EU is divided on Kosovo.
Го споменавте и проблемот со Косово. Диалогот за нормализирање на односите меѓу Србија и Косово е во ќорсокак повеќе од една година. Според вас, има ли шанси Србија да ја признае независноста на Косово како што меѓународната заедница очекува?
No. The answer is it's an illusion that Serbia under Vučić will, through some step-by-step process, recognize Kosovo. Even, it doesn't matter, it's Kurti or Hoti or someone else. The only way they will do it is partition, land swap, or something that is virtually the same. In other words, something that's destroying, taking sovereignty. And that's very dangerous because that's Putin approach. This is what Putin does.
Меѓусебните спорови го кочат или го одолговлекуваат процесот на евроинтеграција на земјите од Западен Балкан. Кои се последиците од понатамошно неинтегрирање на регионот?
It's very serious. It's very serious. But we have to understand that there's only two issues in the Balkans. There's only two. Because everything else, all the other issues, even, let's say, between Croats and Bosniaks in Bosnia-Herzegovina, all of them are resolved if you have a democratic approach in Serbia and in Bulgaria. Okay? It's two countries. It's Serbia and it's Bulgaria. Because every other country in the region and every other population other than Republika Srpska in Bosnia has shown they want to be part of the West. What does it mean to be part of the West? It means settling disputes by peaceful means. It means adopting EU reforms and rule of law. What has Serbia done? Been a candidate for 10 years. North Macedonia is begging, desperate to be a candidate. Albania is desperate to be candidate, doing all of these reforms and conditions and then being denied that. Serbia has the privilege. It's a privilege to be a candidate. What has it done? What has Serbia done with this privilege? 10 years. I'm not making this up. You know the answer. The answer is they've done nothing, next to nothing. So they are given the privilege that North Macedonia and Albania are denied. They do nothing with it. Vučić has taken them backwards domestically and controlling media, dominating independent institutions in Serbia, and you will not have stability in the areas where there are Serbs, Kosovo, Montenegro, and Bosnia-Herzegovina, and you will not have it in North Macedonia when you have anti-democratic pro-Russian forces in Bulgaria that are in power.
Против сте иницијативата Отворен Балкан на Србија, Албанија и Северна Македонија. Зошто сметате дека иницијативата е грешка?
For trade is good. Trade is very good. It's very good to reduce borders. It's very good to increase the economic potential. That's very good. But there's no evidence that if you just reduce borders and one country is larger than the other economies by far, and it's authoritarian, that is, it's anti-democratic in nature, you get problems. So the whole,
mean Serbia?
I mean Serbia. So the whole theory of this open Balkans is trade makes trust. Anyone who believes that it's that simple, trade equals trust, should just look at Ukraine, because Ukraine had high trade with Russia until the invasion. Very high trade. A few years ago, Russia was the #1 trading partner of Ukraine. Even before the war, it was not #1, but it was still very high, and even in some areas, increasing trade. Do you see any trust between Russia and Ukraine? No. Russia wants power to pressure Ukraine, and I'm sorry, Serbia wants power to undermine sovereignty of Kosovo, Montenegro, and Bosnia-Herzegovina.
Ви благодарам за издвоеното време.
Thank you very much.
Тоа беше се во ова интервју на Радио Слободна Европа. До гледање.